Welcome to the Imperfect Dads Podcast. This is your host, Devin. We believe dads care deeply about their family and kids, but they don't always have a space to discuss what their life looks like. Our podcast is a space for dads to discuss the ups and downs of fatherhood and how they feel like they're holding it together or how they're not. Thank you for joining us for this episode. This podcast is part of the Never a Face Network. Make sure to follow them on Instagram or go to the website neverafacenetwork.com. On this episode, we have on musician Andy Jackson. You may know Andy from his bands Hot Rod Circuit, Terrible Things, or Death in the Park. We talked about moving from Alabama to Connecticut and then going back to Alabama, working as an engineer with the B-Side Studio and his work with TrimTab Brewing in Birmingham, Alabama, having daughters, telling your kid happy birthday way too early, life on the road, too much Taco Bell, making new music when the band lives out of state, and playing shows at Hot Rod Circuit this year. Just like one more thing.
Dad, just start the episode.
Oh, my bad. My wife is from Birmingham. She's from Hoover. She went to Hoover.
Okay, cool. I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Montgomery.
Yeah.
I was actually born right outside. I was born in North Carolina, and then right after I was born, my mom moved to Pelham, right outside of Birmingham. I lived here as a baby for a little while. I don't remember it. Seen some pictures and stuff, but grew up in Montgomery. Moved to Connecticut in like 96, 97.
Yeah.
Lived there for about 8 or 9 years, and then bounced around and came back to Alabama.
Nice. What made you come back to Birmingham or end up in Birmingham?
Actually, when I was making the Terrible Things record, with Josh and Fred, we did the record in Tarrant, Alabama, which is just right outside of Birmingham by the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And we were living here for, I think it was like 2 months doing the record, and we were coming into town a lot to eat, and it just saw how it was growing and how cool like Birmingham was. And I was living in Montgomery at the time and traveling back and forth to Pennsylvania for rehearsals and stuff like that. And, you know, the airport was here, and I was like, well, this will be a lot easier for me to get in and out of. So like we got home from tour and I moved to Birmingham, and then I've been here ever since.
Nice. My wife and I both went to Belmont in Nashville and met there. And so we started dating in 2008, and the amount of growth that Birmingham went through from like 2008 until now, and like the restaurant scene is like phenomenal now. Like Birmingham is not the town my wife grew up in at all.
Not same here. Like I used to come here to go to shows as a kid and come up here to skate a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just insane now. I mean, they got that beautiful skate park under the bridge and shows everywhere. Where I'm at, I work for a company called TrimTab Brewing. It's right in the center of downtown.
Yeah.
And I have a venue here called the B-Side, and then my studio is called the B-Side as well. So it's just like B-Side Productions. We do full recordings, everything from that to rehearsals, and then I have like a rental PA that we do shows down at Seasick Records right down the street and stuff like that.
It's cool. Yeah, but like I feel like 20 years ago, Birmingham, that wouldn't have been an option for you at all.
None of this would have existed at all, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, it's like every studio 20 years ago is all out of business, you know.
Yeah.
There's a very, like, it's weird because being a musician, I'm not really a musician in Birmingham, you know, like, so I'm not like in the circle other than me putting on shows, but I've been recording all these young bands, and it's crazy how many bands are here and how many new ideas are floating around in this little town.
That's awesome. That's whenever you play music, what like name do you do it under nowadays?
Are you talking about like as far as like when I'm writing and recording?
Yeah. Like if you're out there playing, if you're writing music, I'm assuming Hot Rod Circuit's still like in the background for right now.
Yeah, I mean, well, honestly, ever since we started getting like back together and doing shows, it's kind of been in the forefront a little more. I still continuously write songs and have like ideas and projects. I'm working on a project with my friend Isaac, who does some stuff for Netflix. Working on, I can't really say much about what it is, but I can say that it's a musical that involves puppets. And
that's awesome.
And it's very punk rock. And we have everybody from Josh Shepard to Anthony Green, like have all these crazy players. The
That's
one
cool.
song I'm working on now has Chris from Bayside playing drums on it. And it's when I say punk rock, it's probably more like if Queens of the Stone Age was like in a play, if you
That's
will.
cool.
That's
That's
the only
awesome.
way I can really. I said that to somebody and I played them a clip and they were like, "That was a really good description."
That's
Like,
cool.
so it's a little heavier, a little more operatic kind of vibe, but
Hmm.
something fun to work on with a bunch of friends. Yeah,
That's cool.
try to always stay busy.
Okay, because you Hot Rod Circuit, did you guys start in Auburn? Is that right?
Yeah, me and Casey. I was living in Montgomery. He was living in Auburn, and we used to all like us and like a band called Manor Astroman from that time, if you've ever heard of them. It was a band called the Quadrajets. It was like all these bands from the Auburn area that were recording in Prattville, Millbrook area. This guy, Jim Marr, had this little tiny shack house right next to train tracks.
Oh, fun.
So you had to like every time a train come, you had to stop recording and wait for the train to pass. Like the whole house would shake.
That sucks.
But this old guy had this huge Neve console that was
Yeah.
sitting in the room, and it was like you could barely get in the room. It was like you were standing up against the board with him, and then he had like a room for drums, and you had to walk through the bathroom to get to like this other area. It was wild, but we got there one day to record, and he was like, "Man, I recorded this kid. His name's Casey." And at the time, I want to say he was like 15 because he was talking about how their mom had to like drop them off and go check them into a hotel
Yeah.
and all this. And I was like, oh man, this has got to be. He's like, but you got to hear it. And he
Yeah.
played me like 2 songs, and his band was called Stealing Mikey, was the name of his band. It was either that or Skipper. He had 2 bands at the time.
Yeah.
I think it was still in Mikey though. He basically was just like, "You'll love this kid." And I heard 2 songs, and I asked for his phone number, and I gave him a call from the studio and was like, "Hey man, I just heard your stuff. We got to do some shows together."
Yeah.
And that's how we connected. And his band started playing with my band all the time. And it wasn't even maybe like a few months later. We really clicked
Hmm.
musically. I remember he and I like sitting down and talking about bands like the Archers of Loaf and Fudge and like those were the men Brainiac. So there was like these 3 bands that like I found my friend that was like, oh shit, we love the same kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
music and we have the same kind of vibe. So I initially asked him to join my band at the time. Then once we started there, we kind of just became this dynamic duo, and then we became a different band after
Yeah.
that.
That's
Yeah.
cool. So does it being back in Alabama, dealing with music stuff, does it feel like returning to your roots or anything like that?
I think there's this weird thing about like, growing up in Alabama where when I had the opportunity to leave,
Hmm.
I just kind of, not that I was ever ashamed of where I was from, I just wanted to be somewhere else. And once I got to the North, I think as a band, a lot of people didn't know I was from the South and me and Casey were from the South. Your voice kind of changes. It's
Yeah.
back. I got my Southern twang back. But
Yeah.
now the days when people are like, I've known you for years. I've never heard your voice like this. Well, I've been in Alabama a long time again. But I think coming back to it, I learned to appreciate my roots more
Hmm.
and kind of understand where I came from. And so I definitely hone in on that. And like, I'm proud of where I'm from. It's a weird place,
Yeah.
but culturally it made me who I am. And when the town I grew up in, we had a cool, like Montgomery at the time growing up, we had a weird underground, I'd say at the time it was more like an alternative kind of punk rock scene, I guess,
Hmm.
more than like, hardcore or anything like that. But it was very I grew up in a town where if there was a band, there was no band that was like your band.
Yeah.
There wasn't 2 pop punk bands. It's like
Yeah.
there was one, and then there was like this weird Jesus and Mary Chain band, and then there was
Yeah.
like this band called Bert who was kind of like the Fugazi of our town, like so it was just like little subgenres, but we all played together. So it,
Yeah.
it made for a good eclectic show, like, if you
Yeah.
will.
I think that's how like Saddle Creek out in Omaha was, where it was like, all right, Conroe versus Bright Eyes, folk is covered, sad folk songs is covered. Then you've got the Faint doing this really weird like electronic dance 80s stuff, and then you've got
Exactly.
Cursive doing like metal basically, and like they were like Cursive was never going to suddenly be like, you know what, we're going to go folk for this album. They're like,
Yeah.
Connor's got that, we're good.
Yeah, do it. Do whatever you. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's crazy how like it gave you an opportunity to really hone in on your craft and
Yeah.
become who you were, and I feel like that's a big thing of how me and Casey turned out in Hot
Hmm.
Rod together, and kind of just sticking to our guns about what we wanted to do.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It made it stick out, you know?
Yeah, totally. And I mean, I know who you are because of your
Yeah.
music. So I mean, you did something
Yeah.
right.
Must have done something right. Yeah.
Yes. I was gonna ask you, like, I haven't asked you about like kids yet. How many kids you
Yeah.
got, ages, all that good stuff.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
My first marriage, I didn't ever officially adopt, but I raised twins from 2-year old to 15 years old. One of them is in Portland now, and one of them is in Huntsville,
Hmm.
and they're in their 30s now. We still talk. We're not as like close as we used to be. They have their own things going on, kind of thing. Biologically, my first daughter with her, she's 28. Her name's Veronica. She lives in Huntsville as well. I have a 10-year-old, Nora, and then my youngest is she'll be 5 on the 9th of this month. So
Nice.
all girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my wife now has an 11-year-old daughter and 12-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old boy. So he's the only boy besides our dog in the family. So yeah, it's just a ton of kids. So
Yeah,
I can
man.
definitely talk about kids all day long.
Also, I love the immediate corrective, like they're 11. No crap, sorry, they're 12. They're 12. They're 12. No, just don't, because they're not going to listen to this podcast ever. But
No,
they
and
they know that you called them 11 instead of 12.
yeah, and it's just to really throw myself under the bus this morning. I've been like getting ready for tour, finishing up some mixes. I've
Yeah.
had so much on my mind, and I had my little one this weekend and went ahead and celebrated her birthday.
Hmm.
That is next weekend. I woke up this morning thinking it was her birthday, and I called to say happy birthday, and they're just, it's not my birthday. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I am so, but
Dude,
they were like, damn, you're doing a really good job of being prepared. I was
you
like, well,
know
I guess
what?
I'm just going to call every day and say happy birthday.
You know what, Andy? I can fault you on a lot of things, but trying to get the birthday celebrated, I cannot fault you on for right now.
Yeah, I mean, I tried. It was a valiant effort, if anything.
That's awesome. How's your, like, it sounds like your career wise, you're trying to, like, you write music, you do music, and then how do you stay in one place mentally ever? Because from what you just described, I would imagine your mental space is like 20 spots at once at all times.
It's always going.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I've, I've
That can be the answer too, is like, hell, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I've been through some jobs that have bogged me down, and then I got away from recording for probably close to 10 years, 8, 10
Yeah.
years. I mean, I'm still always working on projects or doing some guest vocals or mixing
Yeah.
something for someone, but I got really burnt out on running a studio. I did it for
Hmm.
so long. It became to me like I was babysitting, and not
Yeah.
really performing. And I thought, you know what? I've got so many kids at home. I can babysit at home. Like,
Yeah.
so I kind of hung it up for a while. And then when I got last year, when I took over at the brewery, this place just has an incredible space. I don't know if you've seen, I mean, I'm sitting right now. This is my control room here that
Yeah.
I'm sitting in, and then we got this massive, really big drum room out here.
Sweet.
Yeah, I mean it's huge.
Nice.
Yeah, if you could see it, I don't know if you can see that good,
Yeah.
but it was just like an opportunity. And as soon as I walked in, I was like, man, this would be a great studio.
Yeah.
And the CEO was like, why don't you build one? And he doesn't live here. He
Yeah.
lives in Tennessee. And I literally got all my stuff out of storage, started
Cool.
building. He came back like 2 weeks later and was like, holy crap. And it just started as like kind of like hobby. And then it just all of a sudden I was so booked. It was like, wait a minute, we need to shift. This is going pretty well.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm doing, we're, being about breweries too. If you know anything about that, people don't
Hmm.
drink as much now. There's a
Yep.
huge drop. A lot of breweries are closing.
Yep.
So it's an opportunity to kind of like monetize the other side of the building,
Hmm.
and bring in some revenue for this place.
Wait, so the recording studio is connected to the brewery building?
It's in a separate building. So
Okay.
we have the building on one corner. It's a
Yeah.
whole city block.
Hmm.
The brewery is.
Yeah.
So the brewery side is over here next to me, and that's where the venue is. On this side, we have The studio you just saw, our offices, and then we have Yellowhammer Creative right next to us. They're like a print shop, do T-shirts and
Hmm.
posters. And then we have a warehouse that's a little bit bigger. It can hold about 800 people, so we could do like bigger
Okay.
shows in there.
Cool.
And the venue is about 300 cap.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice. That's cool. That makes the flow of that make a little bit more sense then. If it is like, oh man, I got to go hop in the tap room, I got to go do admin or something like that. You just walk
exactly.
around. Okay, cool. That I thought for a second, man, I was like, you've got like the studio here, you've
You
got the
know,
brewery
yeah,
here, and I'm like,
yeah. It's got the
dude,
tap handle
do you
right out
sleep?
here.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I don't sleep much. I never really have.
yeah,
I get like 3 or 4 hours of sleep a day. I've always
yes,
been that way. My brain's always firing on all cylinders. So when I
yeah,
lay in the bed, I write 10 songs as soon as I lay down lay down
yep,
in the bed. It's the way
yeah.
my brain works, man. It never turns off
That you know
until I
what?
get like the flu or something, then I'm just done.
Are you the type of person where whenever you're sick, do you accept that you're sick? I mean, I know a lot of people that aren't. They're like, I don't have a cold. And it's like, you just sneezed on me like 5 times. Like you have a cold.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I generally like if I do get sick, it's usually for like 24 hours and I'm just kind of on with the show. I did get the flu recently and it wiped me out for a week.
Yeah.
It was bad. Like I don't even think I left the bed for a week. I didn't touch a guitar, nothing.
Yeah.
Like it was, yeah, I just think it just depends. Like when it hits me hard, it hits me real hard. And most times I can just get through it. But this last one really got me. It got me bad.
Isn't it great getting older? And you're like, I feel like I've got 3 kids. I've got a 10-year-old, 8-year-old, and 4-year-old.
Okay.
And I feel like it used to be whenever I get a cold, it'd be like a week, maybe 4 days, something like that. And
Yeah.
now I feel like it's like week 2.5 and I'm still coughing. I'm still on NyQuil. And I'm like,
Well, you got all the kids, so they're bringing germs home, and then you're just creating a circle at
it's
home.
great. It's the best.
Yeah, it's
It's the
awesome.
best. Well, that's really cool. It sounds like you took a break from like touring heavily and everything, but you still held on to all your gear.
Yeah, yeah, still did, and and then I did for a little while. I was doing the terrible things thing. So I've always loved playing. I just got kind of burnt out of being
Yeah.
on the road all the time. Hot Rod is about to start doing a lot more.
Hmm.
We as a band haven't really been. I don't know if you've heard or seen or kept up, but like we did a bunch of shows. We had to use a different drummer and a different
Yeah.
guitar player. Mike is on the tour. He tours. I don't know if I'm supposed to say the names or whatever,
Jim
but he
Septic
tours.
said it on his episode, so you're good. You can
Okay,
say it.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he tours with Billie Eilish, and then
That's not bad.
yeah, and then Casey's been working for Jelly Roll for a while.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
doing pedal steel stuff and
Nice.
teching and kind of he's in that like world, so it's a great job for him to like
Hmm.
really meet all these people in that country world. But we have like his best friend and longtime friend of ours, Matt, who literally it's crazy to say, but like he just gets up there, plays like Casey, sounds
Hmm.
like Casey. And they're best friends, so he's like
That's cool.
doing everything he can to make sure he's representing Casey. Like Casey
That's
went as
cool.
far to send him like his guitar to play at our show.
Okay.
Stuff like that. And then we have Gabe Renfro from North Star has been playing drums for us on some this tour we're doing. It'll be me, Casey, Mike, and Jay.
Nice.
And then we just accepted some touring in October, November, and December that I definitely can't say who it is yet, but
Sure. Yeah.
we're working on that and it should be looks like it's going to be full band as well.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. They all had like a little more time off this year.
That's cool. I've talked to like Todd Bell from like Braid and Hey Mercedes and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how cool it is to like I mean, they're opening shows for Jimmy like this summer. Like they're going like, and he's just like, this is cool. This is awesome. His energy seemed very much like we're all healthy. We're all willing to play shows and people want to come out and see us. Let's figure it out. I mean, I know there's a resurgence for the scene and everything. Do
Yeah.
you feel that energy also where you're like, I wrote this album 20 years ago. Do you guys want to listen to this? Yeah, I'll show up.
Totally. It's really cool. And there's also the other side of that is like beginning of last year we went out with the Get Up Kids
Yeah.
and which for us that's kind of the same crowd, like
Hmm.
we're gonna, we came from the same label, same kind of vibe, we toured together a lot. So you're not gonna see a lot of like, people leaving after Hot Rod play. Like, it's
Yeah.
everybody's there to see the same bands. But what I was seeing a lot more of was a lot of younger people
Yeah.
at the shows singing along and then coming up and talking, like, God, you're my favorite band. We just found out about you guys. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, how? But I guess, parents are passing on music and stuff like that, their uncles and cousins. But it's really cool to see how it lives in its own little space,
Mhm.
whether you're doing it or not, and people find it. That's what's so great about music.
Yeah. It
It
is.
reach it reaches people differently and it touches certain people differently.
Yeah. And there's still the reality of like, I mean, I've listened to your music for what, 10, 20 years or so. And like, if my kids hear it, it's still their first time to hear it. So like, it
Yeah.
also then like becomes a connection point of like, oh, I've been listening to this for a long time. And if then they're inspired by it, or you like retap into the energy of like how you felt when you first heard it also. So it's really cool.
Yep. And then, like on the another side of that too is like Jay, our bass player. He has a few kids, and his son loves Hot Rod Circuit.
That's
Like
cool.
and he'll like come downstairs and ask him some question about a song, and he's just like, man, this song is so good, and
That's
it's just,
awesome.
and of course Jay is just like geeking out that his son's like in love with his band, but he's a great kid, and that's always cool that when your kids love your music.
Yeah.
Even me, like with my little one, if I'm playing a demo or I'm working on something and I happen to play it in the car, it's like she instantly knows it's me. It's so
That's
weird.
cool.
She's like, "This is you, Dad." And I'm like, "Yep, it's so cool though. I love that." It's like
Yeah.
how tuned in they are with things.
Well, also like your singing voice and your talking voice are not, they're pretty different. So that's pretty
Very
cool.
different. Very different. Yeah, they are.
That's cool.
No doubt on that one.
How do you feel like as like you're preparing for tour and all that? How does that like relate to you like being a dad? Like, did you tour a lot whenever you had kids?
I think for me, like, I've had kids since we started touring.
Okay,
So no
cool.
one else did. They had kids later.
Yeah.
Casey has 2 daughters. Jay has a son and a daughter.
Mhm.
Mike doesn't have any kids, just his dogs, which, they can be like kids too
It sure
sometimes.
can be.
But yeah, I've always had kids, so it's always been kind of a thing, but I've always either been in a relationship that was very supportive of it,
Mhm.
and the kids were always supportive of it. I've seen other sides of it with other musicians and touring with other people.
Yeah.
I've had
Yeah.
my kids want me to come home or
Mhm.
miss me. And even when the twins were little, they got like a little sad and missed me, and they made this like dad pillow, like like a stuffed dad.
Like to take your place?
Yeah, to like snuggle with and stuff. So yeah, I mean there are points of it where people don't, really understand it, or they're just like, think, man, I can't, are talking to exes or whatever, like, can't believe you deal with that or put up with
Mhm.
that. But it's
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of people doing other jobs that are similar to what we're doing, and whether it be like military. It's like there's a lot of people have to do things, and it's part of it. You can't make any money, you can't become a big band or even a small band like us if you're not constantly touring.
Yeah. But there's that stigma or cultural whatever for it of like, yeah, if I was a CEO, but my job required me to travel to Japan 3 times a year and be there for a month, you'd be like,
Yep,
oh, he's earning for his family. And it's
yep,
like, well, you guys are also. It's
yep.
just not as
It's different.
socially. Yeah, I just have to explain. You just have to explain it more. You're like, no, I'm gonna do 2 weeks stint. I'll be back, and then like I'll have money so we can eat, and it'll be
Yeah,
great.
but I mean, my kids have all, it also gave, there's also another flip side of that is like you come home and you're home for a month. So that whole month, it's, I'm walking the kids to school. I'm bringing, it's like a lot more tuned in time with them that most dads didn't. I know growing up, I had a great stepfather, but he worked all the time. So he didn't have a month break to hang out with me. So there are some periods where I got to do a lot more and spend a lot more time on my kids than probably most dads do on a yearly basis. Even though I was gone so much, I could come home and spend 3 months just hanging out with my kids.
Yep. Yeah. I talked to guys in a band called Carbon Leaf. They're based out of like Richmond, Virginia area. And
Okay.
he was telling me like whenever I talked to him, I was like, all right, man, you're prepping for tour. What are you doing? And he was like, I'm meal planning. I'm making frozen meals. Like I'm cooking stuff in batches. So whenever my
Yeah.
wife and kids are here, they can just unfreeze it and eat because that makes me feel like I'm helpful and I'm around.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't know if I've gone that far. Maybe
Well,
made me feel
yeah,
bad.
You're good. You're running a venue. You're brewing beer. I'll justify it for you, Andy. You'll be okay.
All right. Yeah.
But I think there's that reality of like, yeah, he's the same of like, yeah, whenever I'm in town, I might be gone for a month, month and a half, but whenever I'm in town, you better believe I'm every school pickup, every school drop off. I'm making sure meals are taken care. Like I am dad mode to 200%. And I know
Yeah.
a lot of dads who travel consistently for work who never go into the 200% dad mode.
Yeah. You have these, like, I call it the super dad moments,
Yeah.
where it's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you just got to really, I might work all week. And I generally, my youngest, he just lives down the road, and we have a very, like, open, like, she'll ask me all the time, "Hey, what are you doing today? Can you watch her today? Can you take her to the doctor?" Like,
Yeah.
we just trade back and forth a lot.
Yeah.
But I try to always pretty much have her every Sunday. And there's other days that, I'll go visit or do things too. But it's like, even with all the work I do, I mean, most of the last 2 Sundays, I'd have her all day long,
Hmm.
and then at 6 o'clock, starting a recording session, and then work until 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
I yeah, I definitely take pride in it, try my best to do everything I can and be there for them and
Yeah.
support them.
Does it, if you have a day like that, does it take you much for you mentally to shift from you were just dad mode for the entire day to like, all right, let's be creative, let's plug in some mics, let's dial in?
Sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess it depends on, like, how the day was. Like,
That's
if
fair.
we were trapped inside all day and it was raining all day and we didn't really get to go,
Hmm.
like, explore. She loves going to the park, so we go to the park a lot, and there's a lot of great parks around here. So, like, this weekend was, the park and ice cream and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Let her go pick out some toys for her birthday that I called too early. Um,
That's
but to be
awesome.
fair, I'll be out of town on her birthday, so.
Yeah. So that's why.
Yeah, and stuff like that happens too, and it's sad when you're not, but I think they know how hard I try. And even my ex this morning, she was like, "Well, I can't fault you for being ahead,"
Yeah.
she's like, laughed it off kinda thing. She's like, "Most people would forget or not call," and I've seen the other sides of that. I know she probably wouldn't care me saying this, but, like, the late Sam that I'm with now, her 2 kids, like, their dad never calls, he's
Yeah.
never done anything. He's even been in town before on their birthday
That
and, like,
sucks.
posting pictures with some girl, and he never
Yeah.
called or nothing.
Yeah.
So, I've never wanted to be that.
Hmm.
I grew up with a stepdad. I didn't really know my real father. I met him when I was 12 for the first time, and then I think I saw him 2 more times, and then he died when I was, like, 20, so I never really
Dude.
knew him.
Yeah.
So I always had this thing inside of me where I just, no matter what happened in life, I did not wanna be that.
Yeah.
So I've always worked really hard to make sure everything's been taken care of and they feel loved, and
Yeah. And I think honestly, that's all you can ask of yourself. Like
yeah,
is, hey man, how did I feel whenever I was a kid? This made me feel like crap. This made me feel alone. Hey, I don't want to
yeah,
do that to my kids. So
yeah,
I'm not sure I'm gonna do stuff right, but I know I'm not gonna keep this
yeah,
going.
and I'm nowhere near perfect, of
No,
course,
yeah.
but, I just try the best that I can, and
Yeah.
they seem to be happy, and they love me, and I love them, and that's more than any of us can ask for sometimes, you
Yep.
know?
Yep.
They know they can talk to me about anything,
Hmm. Yeah.
even the little one. She's a ham, but she's just so personable and caring, and, like, my 10-year-old and her, like, just adore each other, and she, like,
Yeah.
looks up to her, and it's like, it's I call the other day and she's singing, the Demon Hunters thing because her
Yep.
older sister's been singing it
Yep.
now, and it's just like, it's so funny to see how they, like, go to these little periods of, like, "Oh, I don't like that anymore. I'm not a kid anymore?" It's like,
Yes.
"Yes, you are."
You are. You are still a child. My 10-year-old, I feel like will do that to like the 4-year-old. Where like, yeah, he's out there watching Paw Patrol right now. And I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
my 10-year-old would be like, I'm way too old for this. But the second I
Yes.
press play on it, she's gonna be singing the song. She's gonna know every
Yep.
single word.
And totally just zoned into it too. Yep. Yep. Too cool for school, but
At the
gonna
same
watch it
time.
anyway. Yeah. The only one that doesn't really, I still enjoy watching Bluey with all of
Yeah,
them.
Blue is awesome.
That
Yeah.
that one's just great.
Yeah.
I think
It worries me how many emotional needs Bluey meets for me, and I don't know what that says about me.
Yeah, no, can definitely relate to Blue
Right? That's
and the
cool.
dad and the
Yep.
dad.
Bandit's the best, man.
Yeah,
But
that's it.
but yeah, man, talking about you getting into the studio at like 6 p.m. or so, like I'm a stay-at-home parent, homemaker, whatever. And like I'll try to be creative at the end of the day. And like some days of parenting are just being like a taskmaster. It's like correcting, it's like getting kids in line, stopping fights
Yeah.
the entire day. So then if I come down here and I'm like, all right, man, go play guitar, I'm like, I'm not even gonna tune it. I don't even care. Like I'm fucking
Yeah, and I will say, I'm definitely like I go through little spurts,
yeah, of course.
having people always think when you have a studio and you have all this stuff, you must sit down there and record all the time. I'm like, no.
No.
I was like, because it's my job. Like I'm mostly recording other bands
Mm-hmm.
for the most part. So I mean, and it's funny because I'll go home and I'll just break out my phone and do a demo on my phone. And there's like I literally have like Neve mic pre's and
Are you
microphones
serious? You've got
everywhere.
a Neve console in front of you, and you're like, but what about the iPhone mic?
Yeah, well, it's just like because I live 5 minutes from here, but I'm like, well, I
Yeah,
just want to, record it on my phone, and like, I don't have to go set up a mic and do all
yeah,
this stuff. Plus, I know if we're gonna go through the process of recording it, and I feel like I've spent so much time writing and finishing songs that never get used or
yeah,
anyone ever hears. And, it's like, not that I'm not going to continue to do those things, but even for the band, like I got in with us being so separated, I would start recording a song. And then next thing I know, I'm playing bass and drums and like,
yeah,
I want to finish this song. And then I would send it to the band. And I'm trying to like represent the band when I do it. I'm not trying to write their parts for them.
yeah,
I even
yeah,
tell them, hey, do whatever you want to do. But as a whole, they're like, we don't want to hear this. Like, we just want to hear guitar and vocal. So it took a little time to understand where they
yeah.
were coming from. So now I just kind of just record something, or if I want to finish a song for myself, I finish it for myself, and then I send them the vocal and guitar track because I'm also like I'm getting older, and it's like, yeah, we want to make a record, but we haven't done it, and it's like, so I told them I was like, I'm gonna start doing some of the songs the way I want to do them. You
Mm,
don't have to ever hear them, and then I'll send you the vocal and guitar, and if you guys
yeah,
want to use it, we'll use it. But I've also, for my own security, it's like I've got probably 2 records full of songs. Like,
yeah.
so if we don't make a hot rod record, I'm gonna, go
Fig-
back through, weed them out, and
Yeah.
remix them. But it's just like, because I don't want to like take my creative energy that I had that day and just throw it in the trash can. So
Mm,
I figured I'm already here. I have all the stuff. I'm gonna start finishing stuff, and they were all cool with that. Like we're very um like I said, we're not perfect either, but we communicate a lot. It's
mm,
gotten better as we've gotten older.
yeah,
And kind of what you said about Todd, it's like, dude, we're so much smarter on tour now, just the way we go about things, how everything, Mike is so professionally
yeah,
about like laying everything out, everything being booked. I mean, it used to be like get in the van, play a show, and then like, where are we staying tonight?
yes.
That kind of stuff. And it's just, we come home and make money, and I feel like we just wasted a lot of money when we were younger, trying to be cool, I guess, or something. I don't know. Now it's like we play smaller amps,
Well, it's
no
different.
crew.
I think in like your 20s, you're like, you can't tell me what to do. Organization is for squares or whatever. And now, like, I'm 38 and I'm like, no, no, no. Like, if you're going to go out on tour, like, where are you stopping at? Do you need a per diem for food? Let's not overspend. Let's make sure if this is
Yeah,
worth it, it's financially
exactly.
worth it and everyone's having a good time.
That's it. That's it. Whereas back in the day, we were like tour, 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 tour,
Let's
tour,
get out of
and
there. Yeah.
now it's like we get an offer and we're like, let's see if we can get some more money out of them, or But it's because we want to make sure we're covered. We're not eating crap, and like we actually come home and make some money off the tour, which is we've been doing pretty well with it, but it's harder these days. Your gas
Mhm.
prices are higher, rentals are higher. There's so much more involved. But like, when I was young, I had 2 Marshall 810 cabinets and
Dude,
2
stop.
heads
That's so
in road
unnecessary.
cases. So stupid. It
Yeah,
looked so cool, and I
of
felt
course.
awesome.
Yeah.
Now I have a 112 speaker and a Kemper. It's like I'm not lugging all that crap around.
No. And like also like I don't like it's whenever I was younger, I was like, my hearing will never go. My hearing will always be perfect. And so,
Yep.
like, yeah, buy the biggest marsh lamp I can find, get a headstock. And now I'm like, dude, if I even plug in and play it all without a kid walking up to me and telling me to stop, that's a good day.
Yeah. Every time I pick up my guitar and my 4-year-old, she's pretty much like, "Stop."
Yeah. What are you
That
doing?
doesn't matter. She doesn't wanna hear it.
No, she doesn't.
Or she'll just take the guitar from me and start strumming on it, you know?
And that's when
Yeah.
you're hopeful that like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. you is willing to be creative. But usually 7 p.m. me is not that willing to
No.
try out a new chord progression.
No, not at all. Not at all. You know, and it's weird. You like I yesterday I got home, was so tired,
Yeah.
exhausted. You just have like these weird moments. And I was just sitting on the couch,
Yeah.
guitar was laying next to me. The kids were actually arguing about something.
Yeah.
And like, which sounds like the worst time to pick up the guitar, but I just kind of like was like, I'm gonna get in my own little world for a second. Picked up the guitar, started playing, and like started writing this song. And like I looked over at Sam, she's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "I don't know."
I don't know
But it's
yet.
just like, yeah, it just happens that way sometimes. And she was like, she literally said to me, "You're so weird." She's like, "The kids are arguing, and you just pick up the guitar and write a song."
Today, tomorrow I'll get
Yeah,
involved. Tomorrow I'll get in the
yeah,
fight with them.
that's right. You gotta take it when you can, you know.
You know what, man? There is much worse escapism that you can do than that.
Yeah, that is true. Very true.
That's funny. Are you drinking a Milo's tea, by the way? Is that a
I
Milo's logo
am.
on that?
Yeah, I just went and had Milos for lunch. I
You are
love Milos.
full Birmingham right now, man.
Yeah, I eat there at least 3 times a week. It's probably I usually stick to the chicken, but I got the burger today.
It happens, man. Well, that's another
Yeah.
thing with like touring and eating is like, I don't know the last time I had Taco Bell. Like or like some of that food where like in my 20s and college and stuff, I eat Taco Bell 3 times a week, something like that.
Yeah, I
So
think we
like,
all yeah, a funny story about Taco Bell is, when I was in Terrible Things, we
yeah.
got this, like I forgot what it was called, but it was like a sponsorship from Taco Bell, and they gave us these books. They were like a Taco Bell checkbook.
What?
So yeah, and so each one was like a $10 bill, and you just ripped it out. So we ate for free Taco Bell, and as you go
Dude.
across like the Midwest, you know they have those like Taco Bell slash A&W's and
Slash
stuff, and they work
KFC.
there too. And then Josh figured out that because I always just went in and used it. Josh figured out that if you just went in and got like a soda and like a bit, they'll give you the change back because it's like cash. So you could go in and get like a soda and then go get some cigarettes.
That is
or
fantastic.
something like that. But I did that for so long that it was like, man, I don't think I ate Taco Bell for like 10 years after that.
Yeah. Yeah. You might
Yeah.
have gained some years back of your life by not eating it so
Yes.
much also.
Yeah. And we do go occasionally.
Yeah, of course.
It's a guilty pleasure.
It is.
Matter of fact, that was today. We were like, I literally said, I cannot go to Taco Bell today.
You're like, I got too much to do. I can't
Yeah.
be stinking up a control room.
That's
I got to avoid the Taco Bell.
I can't be running out of the podcast.
Just give me like 5 to 10, just real quick.
Yeah,
I gotta go.
exactly.
That's awesome. I think it's really cool that, like, as someone who grew up listening to like pop punk, emo, whatever, all the Vagrant bands, basically, I think it's really cool that like you guys, I feel like you guys are finally getting the respect I wanted you to get the entire time, whenever it was like the mid-aughts. So like, that's
Yeah.
so cool. I'm so like, whenever I like had found you on Instagram and stuff and saw that you guys were doing some shows, I'm like, hell yeah, Hot Rod Circuit's back out there. Hell yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
we've been going at it. We got together in December and hashed out some new material and rehearsed
Yeah.
for a couple days. It's really cool to like, I mean, especially for the four of us, because Mike wasn't in the band for a while and Jay left the band for a little while too. To get back in a room and start playing some new songs and like
Yeah.
how that works together and how it's like, oh, we still got this.
Yeah.
It's cool and it sounds like Hot Rod.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like where we're at. We've been away from writing so long as a band that we're trying to figure out how to get where we were when we first started,
Mhm.
kind of vibe, which a lot of that was like, I've always been the main writer, but there was a lot of times where it was just us jamming in a room and something just happened and I just
Yeah.
started singing something. And so we're trying to do a little bit more of that
That's cool.
instead of me coming in with these full prepared songs,
Yeah. Which is cool. I also like you talking about like writing the music and stuff, like if like you sent me one of the tracks and we were like, hey, I've already done the lead part, I'd be like, oh, well, I need to play your lead part then. So like it is different to get in a room together and for you to be like, hey, here's the
Oh,
acoustic track, here's the vocals. What are you guys feeling? What are you seeing? But also, if I was alone with the song for a while, I'm going to fill in the space. So sorry,
yeah,
guys.
yeah, exactly. So we just it's a give and take on that,
Mhm.
and we like one of the songs that I did do kind of like a pretty full demo of it,
Yeah.
and we got in and Casey was saying something about, hey, when it comes back to this one part, and it took a little while to understand what he was saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we got done, it was just like, holy, it was like one of those moments of like, this is why we all need to be in a room together.
Yeah. That's cool.
It just made the whole song. And it was just this little 2-second part in the song,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It's those little special moments that you can't, I think you need the help from other people. Like
Mhm.
I definitely have a vision for what I'm like when I start writing a song, I usually have kind of like the beat already in my head, kind of like the bass groove and the vocal melody. So I kind of have this idea, and not that it's not hard for me to like erase something and change something. It's just like it's cool to have that feedback or like, hey, I know that we've done this and I kind of hear what you're trying to do here. What if we did this?
Yeah.
This we're definitely the kind of band that I feel like that a lot of our special moments came from those parts of Casey being like, hey, what if we did this on the bridge?
Yeah.
Or Jay just started jamming something after this chorus and that became the bridge,
Yeah.
which that wouldn't happen with me. I was thinking too straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so like I'll wrap it up real quick by asking 5 questions.
Okay.
So they're pretty straightforward and simple. They're just kind of fun questions. So first question is, did you have any backup names for your kids? Like, did you have anything you almost named your kids?
No, I don't think we did have backup names because
Okay.
everything. Yeah, like Nora was so just like, what about Nora? And that was it. Veronica was the same way.
That's awesome.
And then Lorelai, let me think about that because I know, yeah, I guess she just said it. And I was like, I like that. I don't think we really we didn't really have a backup.
So you
Yeah, I
went, so
don't,
you like, you go off vibes and then you're like, this is it, decided.
yeah, yeah. So we never really had any. Yeah, never really. Nora came from actually, Jay has a daughter named Nora.
Hmm.
And I had gone up to do some stuff and was spending some time with him and her at the time, and I was like, "Gosh, she's so sweet, and I love that name, Nora, but I don't want to
Yeah.
name my kid the same
Yep.
name as his kid." But he lives in Connecticut, we live in
That's
Birmingham,
fine then. Yeah, you'll never see him.
and
Yes.
I actually called Jay and his wife before we did, and I was like, "Would it be weird if we named our kid Nora?" And they were like, "No, that's awesome."
That's so cool.
So, because I didn't want to just do it and then be like, "What the hell? He named his kid," But I love the name and it suits her well. She's
Yeah.
definitely a Nora.
Well, I mean, also like if my daughters are like Holly and Magnolia, and if someone's like, we're gonna name our kid Magnolia because we think your Magnolia is cool, I'd be like, that's like the biggest compliment you could possibly
Yeah,
give.
yeah. Yeah, no, and they did. That's kind of how they felt too. They thought it was really.
That's cool.
She made an impression on me. She was such a cool little kid, and I was
That's
just like,
cool.
man, such a sweet name.
Got to keep it going. Got to keep the good
That's
Noras out there.
That's it.
Next question: do you have a favorite TV or movie dad,
Favorite TV or movie dad?
or one that comes to mind? Like first one that comes to mind can also be an answer.
Well, I'm a big fan of Dexter.
You know what? As the show has been rebooted, he's doing his
Hey.
best to be there for his son.
He is actually. It's kind of weird. I mean, in his own sick little way, and then Dexter's dad, in his own little sick way, thought he was doing the right thing to
Yeah.
keep him alive. So there is an aspect to it where it was like, you know, I guess that is fatherhood.
If you just ignore him faking his own death, abandoning him to a fellow serial killer, then he's a
Yeah,
phenomenal.
exactly. And then you got like, what about the dad in Schitt's Creek?
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome. We'll go with Dexter Morgan. We'll keep, you know what? He's trying to
yeah,
figure it out. He's
yeah, exactly.
very imperfect.
Yeah, completely imperfect.
He's in Resurrection, whatever the last season was. He was definitely there when his son needed him
Yeah.
to
No, he
dispose of a
was.
body.
Yeah, and I know some people didn't like the resurgence. I thought it was really cool. I love how Harrison's been brought into it now, and it's like I
Yeah.
almost wish they would have called it Harrison.
Yeah.
In a sense. But I really like how they did that. It's really cool.
Yeah. Next question. Do you have a go-to replacement curse word, or do you just curse?
I'm terrible. I have the worst mouth ever. I went to military school. I think I
Okay.
picked a lot up from there as a kid. I've always just had potty mouth,
Yeah.
and my kids get on to me. Obviously they're not walking around cussing.
Yeah.
I try to watch it around kids, and being in a business, I try my best to turn it off. But sometimes I just drop bombs all the
Yeah.
time.
I think you've been
Yeah,
good on this call. I don't think you've said you've got a good 50-minute streak going right now of not cursing. So
good, good.
that's awesome. Next question. What's like one of your favorite like toys or activities that you've played with your kids?
Let's see. I mean, my kids love I Spy. We
Okay.
play that all the time,
Yeah.
driving in the car. I mean, that's like a everyday thing pretty much. Especially my little one. She gets in the car, she's like, "Everybody I Spy," we'll do it
That's
the whole
cute.
time we're riding. Little one likes to, turn me into a horse.
Sure. Why not? Your lower back loves that. That's what you're looking for. Yeah.
Yes. She loves doing that. And of course, I'm gonna do whatever she wants. So
Mm-hmm.
hide and seek. It's a lot more like activities stuff,
Yeah.
not just like, we've played board games and video games and stuff too. But I think between, I'd say also like Roblox. Never been a really big video game person, but
Okay.
with my 10-year-old daughter, she loves Roblox. So I'll download the games on my iPad, and a lot of times we'll just play Roblox together when
That's
she's not
cool.
around, and we can talk, while we're doing it. And I just like mainly just follow her around inside the game, but she loves doing that.
That's cute.
And it's like one of those things where like I said, I've never been a gamer. Other people in my band have. So it's not even something I really enjoy, but I have fun doing it because I'm doing it with her.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Which is also like legitimately like one of the most like fatherhood things ever is like, why are you doing this? It's like, I don't know, but they like it and I want to be in their
Yeah,
world. So here I
exactly.
am.
Exactly. And she builds these elaborate worlds and like beats me in everything.
Yep.
It's just like
That's fine.
smokes me, like I'll be stuck at one place and she's like, "What's wrong? Why can't you get back?" And I was like, "Cause I'm
I don't know what
so."
I'm doing. I don't know how to jump. Like, tell me what's
Yeah.
going on here.
Yeah. I have trifocals. So it's like
Dude. Yeah.
the depth perception on some of those games. Like it really throws me off. I know it
Yeah.
sounds like stupid to say, but if I'm not looking the certain way, it
Yeah.
looks weird. Yeah.
That that's hilarious. And
Yeah.
then last question. Since you've had so many ranges of children and stuff in your life, what's your least favorite kids show? Like, what's the kids show where you're like, I freaking hate this show?
Oh my goodness. What's the awful kid that's bald? Oh
Caillou.
my
It's Caillou. The
oh
answer
my
is
god. I cannot stand that kid. It's awful.
So
I
what's hilarious about this
How many
answer?
times have you gotten that answer?
Enough where you said, "Who's that bald kid?" And I knew immediately who you were talking about.
Yeah, that's just one I never could like. And I think Nora, when she was little, she loved it. And I was literally
No,
just like, "Oh, it was awful." And at some point she decided she didn't like it. And I think I like took her out to celebrate.
I'm gonna positively reward this as much. That was
Yes.
Matt Pryor's answer was like Caillou. He's a whiny bitch. I used to make up a song every time I'd see him on. My
Oh,
wife would tell me I was being way too harsh, but I'm the one who's right in this scenario.
it was so bad. And there's so many like I don't have you ever seen Cupcake and Dino?
No.
Oh, that's a great kids show. It's
Okay.
awesome. It's one of my favorites. I know that wasn't part of your question, but
No, you're good. Like,
I was like,
listen, we can go negative and then like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
hate this, but also I do love this.
Cupcake and Dino is pretty rad. It's a
Okay.
cupcake and a dinosaur, and they do general services. Is their whole thing. The theme song is awesome.
It
It's
is
really cool.
It is literally called
We named
Cupcake
our
and Dino General Services. It's literally
yeah, that's it. And but my daughter, our dog, we have a little Westie Terrier.
yeah,
Her and Nora, they were like watching that show religiously. And when we got our dog, they named him Dino.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And then only other thing I have for you is just like if moments of self-promotion, if you want to promote like the studio, is Hot Rod Circuit even like active on socials anymore? Promote yourself, all that good stuff.
Hot Rod has our Instagram, which is pretty much what we use now. We started our own label and started repressing,
Cool.
the vinyls that you've seen. We've been doing all that on our own.
Mhm.
The B-side is on Instagram as well. I think it's B-side_Birmingham Live, I think is what it is.
Mhm.
I can send you this stuff too.
Yeah.
And then TrimTab Brewing, or just, look up B-side Birmingham. You find the studio from there. And then, you can just hit me up on my Instagram if anybody wants any recording or anything like that. I'm always on there.
But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. If you're ever out in Denver, let me know. I'll happily come out, see a show, hopefully meet up with you, all
Certainly
that good
will.
stuff.
Of course. Awesome. Thank you so much. I had fun.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the time, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Imperfect Dads Podcast. And make sure to give us 5 stars wherever you listen to us. Music, editing, and production is all done by me. Make sure to tune in on Mondays and most Thursdays for new episodes. This podcast is part of the Never Efface Network. Make sure to go to nevereffacenetwork.com to learn more about them.